So in this video, I'm going to quickly go over what's available for pro subscribers in the Ask Edgar Discord. So the main channel that most people are in the Discord for is the research channel. So this is where I post pre-market research on the top gainers of the day of the week. So I'll cover things like the news, whether it's relevant, dilution. I'll look at historical charts for the tickers based on similar people being involved, similar fundamental situations as you see me do on previous videos. And then it can also come in handy because you can also look at the history, because this Discord is actually coming up on the 1-year anniversary of it being live. So there's a lot of, with these tickers that run over and over again, there's a lot of previous notes which can come in handy for understanding what the agenda might be. Like for WHLR, you can see here, I've mentioned many times how the convertibles work because they're a little bit confusing, but you can look at the previous notes just to get a recap of how that their convertible preferred stock kind of conversion price goes lower and lower. And then also looking at historical charts as well, where we're posting the news around the time of the move, what the float was at the time of the move. Well, not on this one, actually. I just went to an older version, or excuse me, an older entry. But now we're posting the float at the time of the run. And then also, this doesn't have it, but offerings around the time of the run and news around the time of the run. So this is really important with basically how I'm assessing. I'm not just looking at how did it perform historically. I want to see how did it perform historically under similar circumstances in terms, fundamentally what the news was, who was involved, things like that. And then we also have a scanner, both free and pro. Pro just has more information. So this is going to post every time a ticker hits the top gainer scanner, so over 30% on the day. So this will post a lot of the information that's available in the web app. So things like the offering ratings, the financial condition, standard details like float, what the company does, the latest news, key dates and timelines. It's nice here compared to the web app because we actually will color code it for things that are negative or positive, compliance issues, and then also stats. So how did it do statistically when it released news, and also when it was a gapper. And we'll also post these in the ticker stats channel as well. And then we also have this market strength channel, which is available to all everybody in the server. And so what this is doing is this is posting gap stats at certain time intervals. So over the last 90 trading days, last week's trading stats, and then the last 5 days, just so you can kind of get a gauge on the strength in the market. So you can kind of see, how many gappers are we getting this week compared to last week? What's the average spike like this week compared to last week? So you can give you an idea of the strength of the market. Some other things that can be useful is, percent of tickers that are making a new high day after 11. All things that can indicate the current strength of small cap gappers. And then we have these news channels here. Probably the most important one is the gainer news channel. So we automatically add top gainers to this watch list and also manually add them because, tickers like SBET, for example, while it may not necessarily be a gainer on the day, it's still a multi-day runner that we want to keep on watch. So I manually will add or remove tickers I think are going to be relevant to keep an eye on the news. So this is useful because you don't have to remember yourself to add, tickers to put on watch to monitor the news. So they'll automatically be posted here. Anything that's in play, up on the day, filings and news will be posted in real time in this channel. We also will, we have a feed for positive catalysts and negative catalysts. So we have AI scanning all press releases for what we prompted it to determine is positive or negative. So things like clinical trial data, mergers. We'll also just add things when certain themes are hot. So like recently with all the crypto treasury news, we're obviously instructing the AI to flag that. Also now, currently, with oil being hot and the conflict in the Middle East, we're instructing it to flag any news related to that as well. And then negative catalysts are usually the same. We usually don't change this much. It's usually things like delistings, bankruptcies, things like that that can come in Really handy. This one, we actually had this channel flag the Weight Watchers bankruptcy, which is kind of buried in a earnings release actually, but the AI was able to flag it. And then real-time offering news. This is just going to flag any offering on any ticker, regardless of whether it's up on the day. So if it's not being flagged in Gainer News, it'll be flagged here. And then the last one is Watchlist. So this is where I give basically the tickers I'm watching and my plan on those tickers and recap as well. And then we have the underwriter lookup channel, which I've gone over in a few previous videos. The most recent one was on APVO. And with this, basically what you can do is you can look up a name of a fund or underwriter, filter by offering type, and then look for any moves, basically runs or gaps within X amount of days before or after the offering. And then it'll spit out the results, which shows when the offering occurred, and then if there are any big moves within the date range that you specified, it'll show charts of those moves. So a good example here was this: we're looking up when APVO had an offering pending with Roth. We searched them in the underwriter bot, and we can see this move here, which actually ended up very similar to APVO just the other day. And also, we saw that there's a lot of intraday offerings as well with Roth.